Now, I've fondled some really bloody good budget-friendly smartphones so far in 2020, but this glorious beast right here, the Realme X50 5G, absolutely has to be one of the very best. For just 300 quid, you get a surprisingly premium bit of hardware here to rival most flagship smartphones out there. It's absolutely stunning what Realme has managed to cram inside of this thing for such a small price. So I've been using the Realme X50 5G all week as my full-time personal smartphone, and as you can probably already kind of guess, I like it a lot. So here's my in-depth review, and for more on the latest greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now first up, Realme really knows how to make even the most budget-friendly handsets look rather striking, and the X50 5G is yet another dapper wee slab, boasting a glass finish that is suitably smart. You can grab this bad boy in two different hues. You've got ice silver or forest green, and I really like this greeny model as well. It's more of a sort of a sensual green rather than like a snot green. And like previous Realme phones, that rear end throws out psychedelic patterns as it reflects the light, perfect for those times when you've had a dodgy vindaloo and you're tripping out big time. But don't be fooled by those charming good looks, because the Realme X50 5G is one tough mother fudger. This phone is coated in Gorilla Glass 5, both back and front as well, just to help prevent any little scratches or scuffs when you're cack-handed enough to drop it on a bit of hard wooden flooring. And yeah, I am kind of speaking from experience there. And as if that wasn't enough, you've also got a proper screen protector pre-installed as well, although the Realme X50 5G isn't fully water resistant, so overall 4 angry Statham faces out of 5. Now the old edge-mounted fingerprint sensor has definitely made a massive comeback in 2020, so it's no massive shock to see one here on the side of the Realme X50 5G. And that's alright by me, because it's perfectly responsive and it's also super comfortable to use whether you're left-handed or right-handed. Truth be told though, you'll rarely even really need to use it, because the super fast face recognition combined with the raise to wake feature means that the Realme X50 5G is often unlocked as soon as you pick it up. And if you've used any Realme or Oppo branded smartphones in recent times, then the software will hold very few surprises for you. Once again, Realme UI, which is basically just the ColorOS launcher by another name, sits all snug on top of Android 10 and adds a whole bunch of great bonus features, most of which are actually pretty useful. So as well as all of that staple Android stuff like a dedicated dark mode and your split screen action and full gesture navigation, you've also got a proper one-handed feature here, which makes wielding this absolute unit a lot less troublesome. And one of my other favourites is that nifty game space tool as well, which is really handy for anyone who enjoys blasting chunks out of their besties in their spare time. This can stop all those pesky notifications and phone calls from disturbing you mid-game, while adding loads of extra features like screen recording to preserve your best kills forever. And speaking of that screen, you get a rather lovely 6.57-inch IPS panel on the X50 5G. If you want to catch up on yesterday's footy on the bog, or chill in the garden with some utterly batshit mental anime, then great news. Those full HD visuals are sharp and detailed, while the colour temperature is slightly warm and easy on the eye. Although as usual, the colour output is completely customizable from within the display settings, so you can tweak it to look however you like basically. And yeah, there is a big ass double punch hole camera cutout thing there, but it's shunted away in a corner, and honestly I never found it a problem, especially as you can always block it from viewing the display settings if you like. The only problem I had was that Netflix still refuses to work on my Realme X50 5G, but that's hopefully because it's a review unit. Hopefully the final retail model will obviously not have that problem. But where this screen really grabs you by the crotch and squeezes hard is the 120Hz refresh rate, something that's usually reserved for super flagships and dedicated gaming smartphones. I mean, that's even better than the Realme X50 Pro, and it beats the living crap out of anything else around the £300 price point. And to be honest, I do struggle to see the difference between 90Hz screens and 120Hz displays, but everything looks so silky smooth, giving a proper premium feel to the X50 5G. And it's more good news on the audio front as well, despite the lack of any stereo speaker action. You've got a good bit of Dolby Atmos support, and that can tweak your audio to suit whatever you're doing, while also serving up a bunch of equalizers and presets, although I found that the default settings were best. You can also play high-res tracks here on the X50 5G, and you've got good codec support as well. So for instance, when I hooked it to my Sony headphones, had a good bit of LDAC support on there, and that audio just sounded gorgeously crisp and full-bodied. And it's just as well that the Bluetooth chops are so good, because there's no headphone jack here on the X50 5G, which is a feature that's actually fairly common on phones around this £300 price point. Still, it's good news if you like to carry around a massive media collection, lots of movies and albums and such forth, because you've got 128 gigs of storage packed inside of this thing, although sadly that's not expandable via micro SD. And if you're after killer performance on a budget, well, prepare to have your undercrackers well and truly blown off in amazement. The Realme X50 5G is the cheapest phone to come packing Qualcomm's Snapdragon 765G chipset. A proper powerful platform that is aimed square at gamers with a boosted GPU that can basically handle any Android title out there. The base X50 comes with 6 gigs of RAM, and frankly stuff like PubG Mobile and Call of Duty play with a perfect frame rate. You should have no excuses at all when pitted against fellow humans in a battle to the death. If you end up a mushy puddle of gore on the ground, that's because, like me, you suck at video games. And even after seeing plenty of action, the Realme X50 5G thankfully did not heat up to a troublesome degree. Oh, and of course, as the name kind of gives away, you are completely sorted when your friendly local mobile provider eventually rolls out 5G in your area. So far this review has pretty much been a flood of good news, and that doesn't stop when it comes to battery life either. You can certainly try killing the Realme X50 5G over the course of a day by zooming with your fam, shooting lots of 4K video, blasting the crap out of fools online in PubG Mobile, but I never once got this bugger to die before bedtime. Most days I actually ended with at least a quarter battery life remaining despite slogging the hell out of this thing, and if you sort of ease back on the more intensive tasks, you'll make it through 2 full days no problem as well. And the Realme even charges back up pronto too, thanks to the VOOC 4.0 30-watt fast charging tech stuffed inside. Now when it comes to the actual camera tech slapped on the back of the Realme X50 5G, things start to get a little bit more complicated because the UK and the European model comes with different hardware compared with the Asian version, just to make things extra bloody complicated. So what we have here is a 48 megapixel primary lens using Samsung's old GM1 sensor, which is good if not great for capturing realistic looking photos. Certainly on a budget it ain't bad, you'll get plenty of detail packed into every snap, especially if you bump up to the maximum 48 megapixel resolution. And while colours are slightly more vibrant than natural, even without that chroma boost feature active, you will at least still get attractive looking results. And the Realme also proved pretty handy at shooting hyperactive subjects like sugar-filled sprogs, so good news if you own one of them. HDR snaps can be a bit hit and miss, you definitely lose some of the texture and colour detail, with bright backgrounds occasionally appearing oversaturated too. But the X50 is also pretty good at capturing finer details in those darker areas. And when things get proper dark, the night mode proves very handy indeed. You'll get much brighter, better looking results. You can also swap to the 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens at any time to grab a pulled back view. And while colour capture is still good with this lens, it does tend to produce darker results, so it's only really useful when the lighting is strong. As usual, you've got plenty of other bonus modes to fanny about with as well, including the obligatory portrait effort. You've also got a dedicated pro mode as well if you want to manually mess around with the individual settings, and of course a macro mode making use of that 2 megapixel macro lens. I still don't see the point, but it's there if you want it. And kudos to the video capture chops as well, because my 4K footage looked crisp and bright and colourful when viewed back on a big screen. And as long as it isn't a windy day, you'll get clear audio capture from all directions. Just be sure to stay quite still when shooting at that Ultra HD level, as the stabilisation is a bit non-existent. And then around front there's a 16 megapixel selfie cam using Sony's IMX471 sensor, and it's fine for snapping that gorgeous mug of yours. I'm talking about you of course, not this haggard looking slaphead right here. The 2 megapixel depth sensor helps the X50 to capture accurate portrait snaps too, if you want all the focus to be on your face. And that right there, in a nutshell, is what I think of the Realme X50 5G after using it as my full-time personal smartphone for a week. And as you can see there, the camera tech isn't quite infallible, but the rest of the phone absolutely jaw on the floor impresses. The crazy performance, the killer battery life, that gorgeous 120Hz display, frankly, you should be paying 400 or 500 quid for this thing, not 300. It's an absolute frickin' steal. So it'll be very interesting to see how the OnePlus Nord stacks up against this thing. And of course I've also now got the Moto G 5G Plus, which boasts some very similar specs in a lot of areas. Few advantages, few disadvantages compared with this one. I'll be using that one next, so definitely stay tuned for my full review of that bad boy. And I've got a comparison between the two live right now. So that's all from me. Please let me know what you think down in the comments below. Subscribe, ding that notifications bell, and have yourselves a lovely week, people. Cheers everyone. Love you.